Today we are going to discuss some other important factors of the design of distillation column. So after going to know how to find out the number of stages with the help of Mercalli method in the XY diagram, now let us look about what are the different parameters that are useful to find out the number of stages that are vertically affecting the number of stages. So there are a few parameters. For example, one parameter is the feed condition, second parameter is the product purity, third parameter is the pressure, and then the reflux ratio. These are the few parameters that have the very important impact on the number of stages. Number one is the feed condition. We all know about the conditions of feed condition. It can be a subcooled liquid, it can be a saturated liquid, it can be a liquid vapor mixture, it can be a saturated vapor, it can be a superheated vapor. Depending on all these situations, the Q values are given here. It can be greater than 1, equal to 1, between 0 to 1 is equal to 0, and greater than and less than 0. So in all these conditions, the Q line can be designed and can be developed, and we have discussed all these things in the previous lecture, how the Q line is developed with the help of the Q value. So for the same conditions, you can see that these are different slope of the Q line, and that if you change the slope, it means if you change the feed conditions, the number of stages will be changed. So that is an important thing regarding the feed condition. Now come to the second parameter, that is the product purity. So product purity means we need a more pure format of the product from the top and bottom. For example, if A and B is the binary mixture is fed into the column, we need 90% pure A from top and 90% pure B from the bottom. And the second say company requires the 95% pure. So the 95 is obviously more pure as compared to the 90%. So the purities are directly proportional to the number of stages. So in these two cases, more pure product required the more number of stages. So more pure product require more number of stages. That's a simple relationship. So anyone who is desiring to produce the 95% A from the top require more number of stages as compared to the 90% of the A from the top. So now the third parameter is the pressure. So pressure is basically inversely proportional at a high pressure. It is directly proportional. If you say at high pressure, more number of stages required. Low pressure, low number of stages are required. So why? At a high pressure, equilibrium curve shrinks, so alpha decreases, number of stages will be increased. So at high pressure, stage will be high. At low pressure, stage will be the low one, decreases. That's the simple relationship with the respect to pressure. And we have gone through this diagram where this P2 is greater than P1, and you can see the envelope in the P1 is more as compared to P2. That's why in the envelope P1, the number of stages are less as compared to the number of stages in the P2. And then the fourth parameter, that is the reflux ratio. So we are going to discuss much more about the reflux ratio. So in fact, reflux ratio have three important parameters. One is the minimum reflux ratio, second is the maximum reflux ratio, and third is the optimum reflux ratio. So let us look one by one. We all know that reflux is the amount of the liquid that is basically sent back into the column to provide the vapor liquid equilibrium in the enriching section. Now we'll take the first reflux ratio, that is the minimum reflux ratio. What is the meaning of minimum reflux ratio? That should be that L naught upon D, when that is a reflux, that should be minimum value. It can only be possible to minimum when this L naught will be minimum. So what happens? L upon D will be also be minimum. So if L naught is the minimum, then L naught upon D, that is a reflux ratio, will be minimum. That is the condition. And what happened at that condition? At that condition, basically this R upon 1 plus R will also be minimum if if you make the low value of the reflux. So it means the slope is also minimum here. So to understand these things, let us look about the diagram. If you reduce the R value, automatically the slope value decreases. So to minimize the R value, slope will also be decreases. And if slope is decreases, means tan theta is decreases and theta is decreases. Angle will be low and low. That angle, that is the enriching operating line equations, will be have the low slope as compared to the higher value of reflux ratio. So what it means, what will the effect of this condition? At this condition, what happen if this is a diagram and this is a feed condition and this is the operating line, enriching operating line at this at that particular slope. If you minimize this slope, so what happen, that will be lower down more again and again. So there can be a one condition of like this one. But so which value of the slope you would like to take? Some condition is this one condition is this one. So there is one condition with what happened, be careful to look about. This is a feed, this black line is a feed line, and this is the equilibrium point. So this is the point, this is called the intersection point between the equilibrium and feed point. So this is the point. So for the to obtain the minimum reflux ratio of any system, we have to join this point, this intersection point with the operating point. So and that is called the pinch point. This is called the pinch point. So this line, this is the line, and this line is called the operating line having the minimum reflux ratio possible for this system. So this is a slope is R upon 1 plus R. So this value is, you can find very easily this value, and with the help of this value you can find out the actual value of RM depending on the obviously depending on the conditions of the feed and all the other parameters. So this is about the minimum. So what the disadvantage of the being a minimum reflux ratio, whether we have to go for it? So the answer is no, we cannot go for the minimum reflux ratio, because at that condition of the pinch point, the number of stages we require here will be very high, and theoretically we can say the infinite number of stages will be required, because when you are approaching towards the pinch point, the number of stages will be very high. Theoretically it is infinite. So in short, we can say that okay, this is a pinch point. We can say that at minimum reflux ratio, slope will be minimum, and we can got the pinch point, and at this condition infinite number of stages are required in the separation. So means a column have infinite stages, one by one by one by one. So what happened at that condition, the height of the column will be infinite. So the tower height will be infinite. Obviously it means that system is uneconomical. So at minimum reflux ratio, you cannot have the economical tower. We cannot go for the minimum reflux ratio. What are the second condition? Second condition is the maximum possible reflux ratio. So we know that L naught upon D is the value, and if you maximize this value, we have to maximize L naught and we have to minimize the D value. So the minimum D value can be possible is 0, means no D is taken out from the column. D is the distillate. Everything that is basically condenses is taken back into the in the distillation column as a reflux. So L naught upon D in this condition will be infinite. When D becomes 0, L upon D will be infinite. And if you see about this reflux, about this operating line, and if you divide this value, this by R, so R upon R becomes 1, and this R upon R also becomes 1, and this 1 upon R. So we know that R value is infinite, to 1 plus 1 upon R. This value becomes 0. So 1 upon 1 is equal to 1. So the slope is 1 for the maximum reflux ratio. And what will the theta? We know that the tan theta is 1, the theta is 45 degree. This 45 degree from the enriching line, that is basically coincide with the y is equal to x line, y is equal to 45 line. So at this condition, you can obtain the minimum number of stages for this condition. But what happened at this condition, because it is the maximum reflux, when more and more materials are coming inside the column, maximum reflux means, it means the tower diameter will be very large, very large tower diameter. And obviously what happened, the condenser and reboiler duty will be very high. So if the tower diameter is large, amount will be very high. So this amount will be vaporizes, by the reboiler. So obviously the reboiler have a much more load. And what happened, this vapor phase when coming into the top of the column, it will be condensed out. So obviously at that time condenser duty will be increases, and it can be almost infinite. So that's why the maximum reflux ratio will also be a uneconomical condition. But please be remember that when you are going for the maximum reflux ratio, you will obtain the minimum number of stages. That is the important thing in this one. So overall, we cannot go for the minimum reflux ratio, we cannot go for the maximum reflux ratio. So what is the solution? Solution is the optimum reflux ratio. So we can go for the optimum reflux ratio. Both extreme cases are not suitable. Optimum reflux ratio can be calculated on the total investment, on the capital and operating cost. And in general calculation, R, that is the optimum R, can be taken between the 1.2 to 1.5 times of the minimum reflux ratio value. So this is a case where we can find out the optimum reflux ratio. Even you can go through very easily through all these things. What happens if you minimize the refluxes? Then obviously this cost, that is a capital cost, because torque will be very high, capital cost will be high. And if you minimize, if you increase the reflux ratio, the capital cost will be decreases, but again after certain time it will be increases. Similarly, if you go for the very high value, steam will be more steam will be required. So this is operating cost, this is the capital cost. If you add all these two costs, you will get the total cost. So total cost is minimum at this condition. This is a condition, and if you can find this value from the given graph, it comes around be that is called the basically the Canonical reflux ratio. It comes around be 20 to 50% of the minimum reflux ratio. So that's why we always take the R value as a 1.2 to 1.5 times of the RM value. Now one more thing is important, because at the total reflux condition, we told that at that condition we need a minimum number of stages. So for that one, we can use Fensky equation. This Fensky equation is used for the maximum reflux ratio. Minimum number of stages can be empirically calculated. Even you cannot use the McCabe-Thiele, you can use this equation to find out the minimum number of stages in the column for the total reflux. That is the important thing. So log SD for 1 minus NM is equal to minimum number of stages is equal to log XD upon 1 minus XD, 1 minus XW upon XW upon log alpha average. Log alpha average means this is under root of the alpha D multiplied by alpha W. Alpha is nothing but the relative volatility. XD is the composition of A in distillate, and XW is the composition of A in the bottom. That is simple, the compositions, and this is the relative volatility of the material in the distillate, and the relative volatility of A with respect to B into the bottom, that is the W. So in this way you can find out, for example, if you go for, if XD is given here, XD is given here, XW is given here, means all these values are given. So if XD, XW is given, XD, XW is given, again alpha D and alpha W are given, alpha W, alpha D, both values are given. If you put all these values here, you can get the alpha average value. If you put alpha average value in a log value and calculate all these values, you will get the minimum number of stages. That comes around with 10.85. So this is the way to find out the number of minimum stages, and this is the optimum reflux ratio conditions. Thank you very much.